Welcome back, guys, to another episode. This is not a typical something of substance podcast episode, just kind of me talking, but I want to get to the point of, let me move this, of discernment and why is discernment important. I'm not going to get deep into religion or spirituality, just what discernment is, and it's basically is testing the spirit, using, you could say, part intuition, part faith, but it's knowing clearly what is and what isn't, and being able to navigate through and around obstacles with a higher knowing, just knowing the truth. Something I want to talk about is ideas, right? We have a million ideas a day floating through our head, and not all ideas are good ones, but also the idea that our thoughts don't belong to us, right? We all have thoughts all times a day. When you wake up, you'll be thinking different thoughts than when you go to bed, right? But it's just that, like, if you identify with your thoughts, you're probably heavily in your ego, right? And the ego is really a trap that keeps you stuck in survival mode. Even if you're doing well, have a nice home, a nice car, if you're stuck in your ego, you're really only focused on survival, because the ego's whole job is to, and the ego is not evil. Let's not demonize the ego. The ego's entire job is to protect us, to keep us survival, but it keeps the focus and spotlight on me, on the I, and the I does not exist. Yes, you are here, you are real. I'm not saying we live in a simulation. I'm not saying simulation theory, but I am saying that there is more to this world than just the I and the mask you wear daily to compete, to make money, to have friends, to have comfort. I want to ask you guys, and not, please comment below, like, what is one thing that you took as a truth that you realized was false? And how did that change the direction or narration of your life? How did that change the direction of your life? And how did that change your self narration? Like, when you hear thoughts in your head, or when you're talking to yourself out loud or in your mind, because I know some people don't have inner voice, and that's okay. How is that narrator speaking to you? Is it angry? Is it calm? Is it a mix of both? Is it, is it bipolar? Guilty as charged. And I think something you can practice if you're having intrusive thoughts, something I've been doing the past few days, literally just made this up. It was a funny idea I got, but I imagine if I'm having intrusive thoughts or just like anxiety, something I practice is I'll take all my thoughts. Like, I imagine my hands grabbing them out my mind. Like, if like you're weed in the garden, like take your hands and like pull up the weeds from the root, like uproot them, and then ball them up and turn it into a marshmallow, or maybe a ball if that's your thing. Turn it into anything you want. So I grab my problems from the root and then ball them up, and then I imagine it magically turning into a marshmallow, and I just chuck that bitch, just throw it far away from you. And that really helps me stay grounded, because I'm like, you know what, I don't have to take these thoughts seriously. I think when you have something in your mind that's bothering you, the worst thing you can do is identify with that issue, with that trauma, with that problem, because that response leads to more. So you could say karma, and karma isn't just being punished, but it's, I did something, now there's a reaction, whether that be good or bad. And we will talk about the terms good and bad, breaking them down, the etymology behind them, and why good and bad truly does not exist. There is no such thing as good and bad, because what's good for me can be bad for you, and vice versa. So let's not, I still use these terms interchangeably, but there's more nuance to the words good and bad. Excuse my forehead pimple, I know you can see it. As I was saying, when you over identify with the ego or with your thoughts or ideas, they become a part of your identity. And I've had several identity crises really young. I know most people don't really have them until like they're a teenager, and then like when they're like in their midlife crisis. But I had mine when I was like 8 because I was very aware. I was meditating daily, and I'm looking around, I'm looking at my classmates, I'm looking at my teachers, and I'm like, so is this the only thing we do? It's the only purpose in life to go to school and then go to school again, college, and then start a family and work the rest of your life? And my mother has told me before, she said, son, you'll be working the rest of your life. And that sort of triggered me because I was like, huh? I'm just going to be working to make other people rich my whole life? Like, it didn't make sense to me. And at 8 years old, I remember vividly thinking, what is the purpose of all this? And I felt more lost than ever, right? And the only way you will ever figure out the reason, the purpose, the why, the how, the what, the when, the where is by taking a journey into yourself. That means knowing thyself. If you want to get biblical with this, you can. The Bible does speak of knowing thyself. Check out my tag. No, but knowing thyself is the most important thing you can do on this journey. Because you're not here for validation. You're not here for essentially money. Well, yes, that may be something you desire, or maybe something that you're good at acquiring, right? That's just survival. We have a purpose and a mission beyond the flesh, beyond the external reality that you wake up to and see every day, aka the matrix. For a lot of you that are still in lower consciousness, there is a higher purpose to life. So a great way to get through trauma, and we'll talk about shadow work and root work in another episode. I'll talk about it a little bit here. But a great thing you can do, why did I just lose my train of thought? I didn't lose my train of thought. The greatest thing you can do is see everything as a teacher. When you can humble yourself and submit and stop resisting to the woes of life, whether that be internally, if you're having anxiety, or externally, if someone is bullying you, the worst thing you can do is fight back. And I'm not saying let yourself just be picked on and be torn apart by emotions or bullies. What I'm saying is that see it as a teacher, because it removes the this is happening to me. No, it's happening for you. Everything that happens in life is happening for you. Whether you agree with me or whether you think, oh, I've been through fucked up situation after fucked up situation, because I know I have. My life has not been easy. I've been through countless traumas, which seems like back to back. I go through constant dark nights of the soul. It feels like I'm battling demon after demon. And for the longest time, I associated this with I'm being punished. No, I'm not being punished. This is making me great. Now, there are some things that I cannot defend. Like, if you were assaulted, if you were sexually assaulted, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that was for some divine purpose, because while I don't think anything is random, I think there are things that happen that we cannot predict, that we have no control over, and I'm sorry that it's happened to you. And I'm not going to tell anyone. See, the thing is, this is not to bypass. Nothing I'm saying is I'm saying to bypass or dismiss the trauma. If you've been hurt, that's very real. But the thing is, life is very cyclical, which means things happen in a cycle. It's like, what's the shape? It happens in a cycle, so, in a spiral. So we keep coming back to the same things over and over. It may manifest in different people, in different situations at different times. So if you are stuck in a cycle of abuse, yes, you may get away from that one abuser, but if deep down you have not resolved that trauma and healed that wound, you're going to keep attracting abusive people. And yes, that is not okay. It's fucked up. But there's a level of accountability, radical accountability, that we all have to take within ourselves to realize, how am I contributing to my own suffering? And I'll say that again. How am I contributing to my own suffering? That's very important, because it is so easy to point a finger at everything happening to you really happening for you and say, this person has me fucked up. That person's doing spell work on me. This person's a bully. They're a narcissist. This person's evil. They have me fucked up. They're fake. They're doing this. They're doing that. Always pointing the finger, pointing the mirror to everyone else but yourself. Because a lot of times we attract to what we are, and it may not even be about what we deserve. It's this universe, the world, the cosmos, the great mother source. She sends you exactly what you are. So it's not about if you deserve it. You have everything that you deserve. You have everything you need already. You are already whole and complete. You don't have to keep awakening. You don't have to do 10 hours of meditation and yoga and go to steam baths and pay like $10,000 to go to these expensive retreats. You can remember right in your own backyard. It's not about how much you know. It's not about who you know. It's about knowing thyself, right? Going within and remembering, or as I say, remembering. Shout out to Ra, love you. It's about remembering who you are within, beyond this meat suit, beyond the flesh, beyond this external reality that we see, beyond the kingdom of air that this world is occupied by the enemy's kingdom. Z the Healer is a very potent healer and reader, and I've learned a lot from him. And one thing is that I realize, also my elder Derek, he says this too. I'll quote Derek first. He says, bro, and this is literally how he speaks. He's like, bro, Nicholas, I don't care if people are cursing me. He says, it doesn't matter if anyone is doing anything against me, because I haven't gone against myself, so I know it has no power over me. Do you hear that? It doesn't matter if anyone is fake. It doesn't matter if anyone's talking behind my back. It doesn't matter if anyone's plotting against me. Derek knows himself very well. He's an older guy, but he knows himself a lot better than a lot of people I come across. Very wise, loving, respectful, awakened individual. So when he's saying, it's like, yes, these things may be happening, but they're happening for you. These things may be coming against you, but why is this happening? If you stop and pause and analyze the why, and stop questioning, not even questioning, if you stop saying, when you change your internal monologue and mature from, oh no, this sucks, why is it always me, to what is this teaching me? It allows your spirit and your soul to shine through, because deep down we all know that this is just a game. It's like a big play. It's funny. The cosmic joke is, there's several, so I'm not gonna quote them all. I actually forgot them. But who's texting me? Okay, no one. It's one big play, and it keeps repeating itself until consciousness expands, right? If you stay stuck in the same space, you're going to keep attracting the same things, and it may be comfortable. That role you've played this far, that mask you've worn this long, may be comfortable because, at least it gives me some comfort, and at least I have a consistent number of people in my life that I see daily, even if they're fake or they're doing spells on me, or if they're cursing my name, or if they're backstabbing me, at least I know who these people are, right? Some people say I'd rather associate with the demon I do know than the demon I don't know, right? And that's a powerful message, because you shouldn't be playing with demons at all. Not on my path anyway. Some people do that. No shade, because they have their purpose. I'm not here to demonize what we call darkness in this world. I'm not here to demonize, because darkness is just the divine feminine. I'm not here to demonize entities or call out any one name or tell people what path they should follow. It's just, what role do you play in your own suffering? How are you contributing, right? Z the Healer said something very thought-provoking. He said, people know exactly what they're doing. It may not be that you consciously want someone to beat you up, But deep down, maybe your ego and in your shadow, if there's something there that's unresolved, when it comes to the surface, it can manifest externally in other people. So you push someone's buttons just the right way, and then they freak out on you and curse you out and call you a bitch, or they slap the fuck out of you, or they key your car. Yes, that's crazy. They shouldn't have done that. They should have more impulse control. They should have control of their actions, their discipline, not to harm other people's shit, right? Not keep your hands to yourself. Don't steal, don't kill, whatever. But how did you contribute to that? Because it's so easy to say, I'm just a perfect person, I don't do anything wrong. But no, if these things keep happening to you over and over and over, and you haven't learned from it, and you haven't gotten out that cycle, you are doing something wrong. You are to blame. Now, again, this is not to bypass the healing. This is not to say don't do the work. This is not to dismiss the very real trauma and hurt that a lot of people are going through on this planet. There's a lot of suffering collectively happening. It's like we're in one big dark night of the soul collectively. There's a lot of fucked up shit going on this planet, but actually it's playing out exactly as it has. And if you get into Kabbalism, I'll talk about that on another episode. Please remind me down below to make another. I'll just write it down later. Kabbalism, shadow work, real work. There was something else. I have to watch this again. Anyway, how do you contribute to your own suffering? And I would like you guys to get pen and paper. Don't use your phone. Don't write on your laptop or your iPad or any touchscreen. I want you to write down on pen and paper or a pencil, how do I contribute to my own suffering? And if it takes you 10 minutes to sit there in silence before you come up with the answer, but really ask yourself, in what ways am I contributing? How am I triggering other people to react to me? And how do I stop this from happening? How do I prevent XYZ from happening by changing my behavior? Because we cannot change other people as much as we want to. We can influence other people, but we cannot control other people. Now you can say brainwashing, but that takes time. Even if you are possessed by an entity, if you want to call it a demon or daemon, whatever you want to call it, it takes time to break down the barriers of the mind and the spirit and soul for someone to completely give up their sovereignty and free will. Even if someone sold their soul to the devil right now, if they contacted Satan right now and sold their soul in a contract in blood, written in blood, it would still take many years for them to fully break down their individual free will and sovereignty, right? It's not just a one and done. This is a process. It's cyclical, right? It happens in cycles of them constantly being met with situations where they give up their power and they become a victim, and they go further and further into the shadow, and then they become a shell themselves, and they retreat, and they identify with the wound, and they keep giving up their sovereignty to other entities, other beings outside of themselves, right? And that's when they get possessed. That's when they have no more free will, is when they snuff it out. And it's not that something external is doing it, it's that they're giving permission for the external to work through them, for that to happen. I hope I make sense. I hope I'm making sense right now. A lot of people, I feel, don't understand this. And it's not that it's difficult to understand, it's that Western society teaches us all to be cowboys and princesses, and it's a school of thought that is you will get everything you want in 30 minutes, when a lot of these things take years. It can take years of therapy, of meditation to resolve a wound. It could just be one simple thing, like it could be abandonment issues. Maybe you didn't have a mother or father growing up. Maybe your best friend died when you were young and now you feel all alone and you can't get back close to people because they're not the best friend that you lost. It could be something like that, and I'm not calling it simple to detract from what I just mean. It could be something very straightforward, like maybe when you were 5, your father left and didn't come back home, and now if you're a woman or say a guy, you don't trust men because you think they're going to abandon you. And maybe if you're a guy, you don't trust your homies because you think, oh, they're just going to leave me anyway. So that can take years to heal from. This is not a quick fix solution. While yes, your consciousness can shift overnight, your consciousness can shift while you're watching this video in a few simple seconds like that. But it's going to keep repeating itself until you get to the bottom of it and you dig up those roots and you expose it in the light and you work through it. Because until you do that, these things are going to keep repeating. And I say a victim, but I'm not a victim. I've fallen into this stupor myself where I feel like I'm making great strides. I'm doing all these things. I'm doing the work. I'm meditating, I'm journaling, I'm doing the shadow work. But for some reason, I keep meeting the same person in a different body. And it's maddening. It's very maddening. It's like, why do I keep meeting why does the same situation keep playing out? It's because I'm overlooking something. And I can personally say, I don't call myself perfect because there's still much work to be done. I've had some patterns in my life play out for years, and I'm getting to the bottom of it, but it's not easy because, we have the demands of life. I'm in college right now. I have bills to pay. I have other things to do. I have to make sure I have enough money in my account to pay my car note every month, right? I can't just put my life on pause, but I still have to dive deep into my psyche, go into my shadow and pull these things out, which at times can be very destructive because when you're messing with these forces of the self, the aspects of self that have been hidden and submerged for so long, when you bring them to the surface, or rather when you meet them in the depths, it can break you. It can tear your life apart because everything you knew to be true becomes a falsehood. That's why I asked in the beginning of the video, guys, what is something that you for some time took as a truth and lived by, something that you lived, something that you put on your back like a stamp and said, this is my truth, but then you realize it's false. And that's something I want you guys to constantly analyze and do and ask yourself, how does this idea fit into my life, right? It's one thing to just vibe and take it a day at a time, but there is a higher truth and a higher self that sees through all these things. And you have to constantly, I don't mean hypervigilance, but you do need to ask yourself, does this person I'm meeting align with my high self? Do these thoughts I'm thinking, are they going to build the reality I want? All the behaviors I'm engaging in, it's the way I'm speaking, it's the way I'm talking, it's the way I'm acting, are the things that I'm doing right now, are they conducive to me becoming the person I want to be? Or is it subtracting away from me and keeping me stuck in the same cycle? These are real questions you have to ask, and you have to get real with yourself and confront the self, because the ego will hide behind all these masks, all this bravado, all this, I'm the shit, I got this. And no, you don't got it. Some of you do. Some of you do have it on lock. But for a lot of us, myself included at times, I don't know what I'm doing. And the truth is, nobody does. We wake up down here on the beach in the sands, and they tell us we're human, and they give us a manual of how to survive. You go to school, then you go back to school again, you study long hours, you get a job and a safe career, and then you retire when you're like 60, and you settle down and have a family, and you pass down your skills and you're trading your knowledge to your kids, and they continue the family legacy. There is more to life than this. There is more to life than the beach. A lot of people have washed up on the shore, and they stay on that beach their entire lives, and that's fine. There's nothing evil or wrong or bad or fucked up about people who don't want more out of life. There's nothing wrong with being in the mundane. There's nothing wrong with mundane. There's nothing wrong with lower consciousness. It's just that some of us are called here for a higher purpose. And if this video resonates with you, I want you to comment below 444. If you've made it this far, comment below 444. Life is interesting, right? Humans are one species that is born not knowing how to do much of anything besides cry and shit and piss, right? Human babies don't know how to fend for themselves. They don't know how to hunt. They don't know how to fly. They don't know how to run. They don't know how to write. They don't know how to speak. And other animals in the animal kingdom, like birds, I mean, some species of birds, they push their fledglings out of the nest at a very young age onto the jungle floor. And it's either they learn how to fly mid fall and they survive, or they die and get eaten. Humans, we have a lot more comfort. We have come out of the jungles externally, but we are still in the jungle consciously with the animal mind. And a lot of it can just be chalked up to we don't know what we're doing, and we want to make the best of it as we can while we're down here. So a lot of people, they hoard riches, they stack up money, they live for comforts, for creature comforts. If you only do things that make you comfortable and make you happy, you're not going to have a very great life. Yes, happiness matters, but personally, I don't care too much about happiness. I know it will come and go. If your whole life's purpose, and that's one thing I don't like about the whole new age crowd, and the thing is, none of this stuff they're preaching is new. All this stuff is old. It's just recycled and they put a new name on it. But a lot of this, man, like the whole new age thing, like be light, be love, that's great. But like, in a relationship, it takes more than love to save a relationship. Well, yes, that is the basis of it. That is the minimum requirement for a relationship, is love, mutual understanding, communication, support. It's like, those are just some things to think about. I have a lot more to say, but I have an event I need to get ready for in a bit. And I really hope this resonated with you guys. Hope you guys could take something from this, at least at the very least. Oh, wait, there is one. I was getting to a point. Sorry. I was getting to a point before I started wrapping up things. So it's like I was saying, how we're born on the beach. Don't know what we're doing. And we're given all these titles and badges and a manual of how to survive, right? We have to be our own chef. We have to be our personal driver. We have to be our own hype man. We have to do all of these things for ourselves. And a lot of people end up doing it for other people, right? Fuck, I missed my point. It'll come back. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I'm going to edit this because this is getting messy. But I'm getting there, right? I'm getting there. I just asked myself to remind me what it was I was going to say. It's not coming right now, so that's okay. But as I'm sitting here in silence, I feel golden. I feel like I'm glowing. Like, that's another thing. If you can't sit in silence, what are you doing? You don't have to meditate, but as my sister said, everything is meditation. Everything you do, you are practicing. Whether you are playing games 8-10 hours a day, watching the anime 5 hours a day, sleeping 6 hours a day, that's something you're practicing. All it takes is a little bit of consciousness, awareness to change. And once you're aware of it, now you're responsible. So if you know that you're responsible and you don't change anything, do you deserve to suffer? Something to think about. Yes, so as I was saying, it came back to me. So yes, with the whole life thing, born on the beach, you have to be your own chef. You have to be your own hype man. You have to clean yourself. You have to present yourself in a way that will be conducive for you to find opportunities and stuff. You also have to be your own psychologist, right? I'm not saying you have to go to college and study psychology for 8 years, but you need to start to understand first, but overstand thyself. It all goes back to knowing thyself. Even if you know the things you do are wrong, are they right for you? if you've been called in in this life, in this experience to be what we call evil, an evil person, to do unnatural things, why do you desire that? You need to really be able to tap into your own psyche and not break it apart, but be able to peel back the layers and understand, why do I do these things? Why do I desire these things? What is pressing me? What is tapping on the glass, influencing me to do X, Y, Z? And if I no longer desire this, how do I change so that I stop getting these results because I want different results, right? It's all a mystery that we have to uncover. And if you look to great literature, if you look to the Bible, if you look to the Da Vinci Code, if you look to the Emerald Tablets, the Book of Enoch, if you read these scriptures, if you read these forbidden banned books, if you even read myths and legends, you will find not treasure, but a mirror. And the treasure is within, waiting to be uncovered, right? The treasure was within all along. I think that's what One Piece is all about. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Oda pulls that bullshit, like, oh, the great treasure was the friends we made all along. Like, you know how in Kung Fu Panda, Tai Lung gets the scroll and opens it, and he's like, no, this is all wrong. There's nothing here. And then all he sees is his reflection. It's like, yes, we're born we come and surface from the primordial waters and wash up on the beach. And a lot of us stay there because, sorry, picking my nose. A lot of people don't realize that they have to go within. And you have to be able to psychoanalyze yourself to get those answers. You have to be able to crack the vault. You have to be able to know Morse code. I'm not saying literally, but whatever it is you're called to do, whatever you have been through is teaching you, and whatever skills you have gained and developed, it is developing you into a person for a job that only you can do. And the higher you go, you realize the more alone I am, because this isn't about other people. Some of you, your astral charts may have you aligned with communities and stuff. That's great. But for someone like me, right, this journey is not for me to be understood by others. It's for me to understand myself. Let me repeat that. My journey, I can't speak for anyone else. My journey, I know for a fact. And I've got the readings, I've done the research, I've done the the enneagram of my name. I've done all this stuff, right? The numerology, all that. For me, Nicholas, for me, Saint Nick, right? My journey is to initiate, to start, to lead, to carry through, to be a way shower for other people. Not a monolith, but a supporting pillar for other people to find their way as well. So everyone watching this, if you made it this far, I encourage you to sit in silence at least once a week, at least at the very minimum once a week for 10, 15 minutes, even 5 minutes. Meditate or don't. Just sit in silence and ask yourself questions. No distractions, no phone, no computer, no TV, no tablet. Get cozy. Ask yourself, why do I do the things I do? And how do I change them? And write them down. Everyone may not get an immediate answer. It really depends on your connection with yourself. But start to date yourself. DATE. Start to take yourself out on dates. Get to really explore yourself. If you don't like being alone, you need to work on that. Because a lot of things we do in life will be alone. There's just some things that other people will not be able to guide us through because they don't know either. No one knows any better than you do. I don't know any better than you do. I know nothing. As intelligent as I am, as much esoteric and occultism as I've studied over the years, it means nothing. As much as I can psychoanalyze someone from their body language and all these tips and hacks and blah, 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 it means nothing. All that matters when I die is my level of consciousness. It's not if you were a good person or a bad person. It's how well do you know yourself and where are you going to do? How are you going to use that in the afterlife? Whatever you believe the afterlife to be. Not here to argue. But with that, guys, Ashe, thank you for listening. Have a great, blessed, wonderful day. Ashe.